Hello friends, this is Nazmijan. In this video we are going to see a very powerful display in the opening by the Super Grandmaster Alexei Shirov. In this game, Shirov crushes Tiviakov's Scandinavian Defence in just 26 moves. Okay, Alexei Shirov is white and Tiviakov is black. This game was played in Hoogeveen tournament in 2010. Shirov opens the game with the move e4 and Scandinavian Defence is arisen here, e after d5 move. E takes d5, the most principled continuation, and queen takes d5. Apart from this move, there is also knight f6 move to capture the pawn with the knight. But queen takes d5 is by far the main line. Knight c3, and black has three options to retreat the queen: queen a5, queen d8, and the game continuation, queen d6. One thing is interesting about queen d8 move. This move was played by the world champion Magnus Carlsen to beat Fabiano Caruana last year. And you can check your database and to see that game. In that game, Magnus Carlsen beat Caruana in a very nicely played ending. Okay, queen d6. This was generally called Tiviakov's petline, and the reason for that is Tiviakov has many games in this position, and the development of the theory of this variation depends on mainly Tiviakov's games. d4. It's always nice to put a pawn in the center when it's possible. Knight f6, knight f3, c6, and it's also possible to play a6 move in order to control b5 square from white pieces, and also preparing the move b5. White generally goes g3 here in order to develop bishop castle and play the bishop f4 move later on. Knight f3. c6 was played in the game, and black wants to develop his bishop on g5, g4 and h5 squares. And for this reason, the most principled reply for white is knight e5 move, preventing black's bishop to get active here. And black played knight bd7 move, attacking the knight, but we can see the point of white's play after bishop f5. White can play g4 move. Now it's hard to play bishop g6 here because there is h4 move, which will ruin black's whole pawn structure on the king side and the center. Let's say if h6 or h5, white can easily take on g6 and destroy whole formation of black's pawns. Knight bd7, attacking the knight, and this is the first critical moment that Shirov deviates from the main lines. Here the main line is, one main line is bishop f4 and the other is knight c4 attacking the queen, but Shirov goes for the move f4 here, which is not the main line. But let's see what happens in the main lines. Bishop f4 move, trying to protect this knight and creating the threat of knight g6. Knight d5, counterattack this guy here. Knight takes d5, take with the queen, and there's a game played between the players Anand and Sergey Tiviakov in 2006, and Tiviakov went on to equalize the game like this: bishop e2, sacrificing the g2 pawn, knight takes, bishop takes, bravely accepting the gift, queen takes g2, and Tiviakov after bishop f3, queen g6, and queen e2, white prepares long castle. Now Tiviakov play the move h5 in order to play the move bishop g4, and this game was Anand Tiviakov in 2006, and this game was drawn, which can be a success for Tiviakov here. And after knight bd7, there is also move knight c4. White wants to develop with the queen and bishop here. Queen c7, queen f3, knight b6, bishop f4, and one also nice continuation is here, again the Tiviakov's game with queen d7. Very interesting idea to play queen g4 and attack in d4. And after long castles, queen g4, black is also okay here in this position, and this was tested by Sergey Tiviakov himself in many games. Okay. Now f4 move was played by Shirov. This is already very rarely seen, but still Tiviakov knows what is he doing here. Knight b6, trying to develop this guy, and g4. White still wants to prevent this bishop from developing, but for some price, with this pawn moves, White weakens his king a bit, and that can be issue if he's not careful here. Okay, Black played knight bd5. In this little bit cramped position, Black tries to exchange minor pieces. It's also possible to play g6 here in order to develop bishop g7 and castles. Then White might play g5, and after knight e4, there's also a complicated position after knight c7. But in this game, knight bd5 was played, bishop g2, and now the aforementioned idea g6, g5, trying to force Black to capture on c3, knight c3, b3 3, and the most critical position of the game here, and which was very important for Black to make the correct move, because after making this mistake, knight d5, Tiviakov will have great difficulties in the game. For this reason, knight d7 was preferable, still with the same ideas of playing bishop g7 and castles, but with one difference. Knight d7 was nicely located there, and knight d5 in the main line, which Tiviakov played, is a concern for attack of White's pawn by c3, c4. Okay, knight d5, and c4 comes here, knight c7, c5, and queen d8. Up to this point, Sergey Tiviakov made his moves very quickly. This shows that he's in still his opening preparation, but Shirov is thinking here and find a very beautiful blow here. I think you can stop if you want to guess what's the best way to continue here, and this is always very nice to try to guess what is the grandmaster move here. Okay, Black is severely underdeveloped. His king is in the center, and bishops is not active there, not developed. So for this reason, after a long think, Shirov played the move d5. Very strong move. At first sight, it's not clear what will happen after c takes d5, but this is the game continuation, and let's see what happens after the move knight takes d5. After c4, the threat is simple. If knight retreats, then there is queen d8 and knight f7, forking the king and the rook. So for this reason, knight b4 is forced in order to get some counterplay after queen exchange by means of knight c2 move. But after easy takes, Black is threatening knight c2 with the move rook b1. Double attack is here. Knight f7 and rook takes b4 is threatened. And if knight c2, then king can attack the black knight by means of king d1, and White is winning game here. d5. For this reason, Tiviakov takes with the c pawn, c takes d4, and the idea c4 comes. Now the same tactical issue is here. White is trying to force Black to capture on c4 and get this tactical trick. So for this reason, Tiviakov plays e6. But let's look at the other alternatives. d4 looks possible, but this is already losing. After queen a4, bishop d7 only move, and c6. c6 is immediately winning the game because you have to take it, and after bishop takes c6, there's no way to defend d7 bishop. If he takes, then there's mate in 1 after queen d7. We will take the queen. The other move is maybe better move is bishop g7, trying to develop and castle, and sacrificing this pawn back. C takes d5, castles, and White has simple idea of playing bishop e3 and rook c1, reinforcing this pawn. And it's interesting to observe that it's very hard to attack the central pawns in the center. And white has very nice advantage here. He will prepare d6 move in the near future. Okay, e6 was played, and bishop b2, logically developing and creating some threats on the black rook, and bishop g7 was played. This move is not the best move for black here, but bishop c5 is not very good move, because after knight d3, double attack here and here, white wins immediately. And after the better move bishop e7, white is still on top after queen a4 check. Knight g6 also possible here, but this gives black some breathing space after bishop takes c5. Now suddenly the rook is trapped in the center. But there's also easier way to play for white here. Queen a4, king f8, and rook d1, still pressuring the d5 pawn, and black's pieces are not very nicely located here. He's underdeveloped, and white's about to castle and having a very nice initiative in the center. Bishop g7, an understandable move, trying to castle here, but after knight c6, it's impossible. bc, bishop takes g7, attacking the rook, rook g8, and Shirov plays a very beautiful move, which makes harder for black to develop. Bishop e5, a very fine move. Now black finds it very difficult to develop his forces easily. He played bishop d7, but after, let's say, bishop a6, there is the move queen a4, threatening c6, and also threatening to take on c7 and attack this bishop. So Tiviakov played the move bishop d7. White logically continue his development by castling rook b8. And as you see, the disconnected rooks for black makes it harder to control the b file. So for this reason, white will take the control of the b file after connecting the rooks like queen a4, attacking this and trying to play rook a b1, rook b7, protecting a7 pawn, and maybe in the future he will double on the b file, rook a b1, attacking it. Black protects by queen c8, rook takes, queen takes, and there are many ways here, but Shirov goes for the most logical one, rook f2, trying to play rook b2 and attack the black king also via b file and with its active pieces. d4, trying to stop this idea by closing the file, and queen a5, attacking the c8 knight, which cannot move active directions. Knight a8 and knight a6 are not appealing. King d8, protecting, and Shirov played bishop e4, completely dominating the whites, dominating the whole board, and Tiviakov doesn't continue in this position and resigned. There is also tactical idea of playing on the king, rook d2, rook d4. So in this position, finding no moves, no useful moves, Sergey Tiviakov resigned. A very nice attacking games, which shows very illustrative points on Scandinavian Defence. Okay, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.